All right, good evening, everyone. This is the Zoning Board of Adjustments and Appeals regular meeting. Today is Wednesday, October 4th, 2023, and beginning time is 5:30 p.m. It's being held at the Council Chambers City Hall building here in Eagle Pass at 100 South Monroe Street. First item is the establishment of quorum, which let the record reflect that there are 5 members of the board present, therefore quorum is established. Second item is citizens communication. Is there?
We submitted.
No?
No.
All right. Third item has been completed. All right, so first action item for today is the approval of the minutes for the August 2nd, 2023 meeting. If y'all want to look over it, let me see if you have any questions.
No.
I didn't get a printout. Thank you.
Anyone have any questions, concerns, anything regarding the minutes from a couple months ago, I guess? Okay, well,
If I may?
yeah.
Before you go on to the next item, I would like to welcome as you all know, Mr. Robert Rose as a new alternate member. Again, Mr. Rose, congratulations and welcome aboard.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And also, we have our new legal city attorney, Ms. Sophie Garcia.
Hey, welcome.
Welcome. Awesome, thank you. Thank you, Maribel. Okay, all those in favor say aye to approve the minutes. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion carries unanimously. Okay, next action item is public hearings. Number 2, continuation of a public hearing on a variance request submitted by Ernesto Fuentes to 1, reduce the front yard building setback area from 25 feet to 10 feet, and number 2, reduce the rear yard building setback area from 16 feet to 10 feet to allow for the construction of 2 two-story detached apartment buildings in property located at 983 Colorado Street.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So what you have before, again, is an application submitted by Ernesto Fuentes, LNE Real Estate Rentals LLC. Property, legal description is Lot 6 in Block 3 of Buena Vista, Unit 4. Parcel size is 7,500 square feet, currently vacant. Again, the proposed use would be a 2-story multifamily detached buildings to house 4 families. Current zoning is R3, A, which is apartment district. The request is, again, applicant is seeking a variance to reduce the front yard building setback area from 25 feet to 10 feet, and number 2, to reduce the rear yard building setback area from 16 to 10 feet. The property is currently serviced by public utilities and franchises. The property is bordered by single-family dwellings, duplex dwellings, and multifamily developments. Access to the site is provided by Colorado Street, and the applicant proposes to provide access via an access easement through Second Street as adjacent development lot owned by the same property, being Mr. Fuentes. Here you have some site photos. So this here is the subject lot. This one here is the adjacent property, which also is owned by Mr. Fuentes. So the access easement would be through, if you see the cursor here, it's through here to access the lot towards the back. Here you have some nearby apartments, all shaded in blue.
That's a housing. That looks like housing, but I don't know. No?
Here you have a plot plan this case, it's not yet approved for construction, it's just preliminary to reference.
Are there going to be any parking spots that front
No?
Colorado Street?
No, no, sir.
Because it looks like on the photo that there are cars parked in front of the apartments there.
No, all the parking is required to be inside the property. Although, I mean, it's a public street right away, so they're allowed to park in the street, but.
In the street, yeah.
But they have to comply with the required space inside the property.
2 cars, right?
Maneuvering, what
2
have you.
cars?
So these cars that are in this photograph, those are on Colorado Street?
Looks like it. Yeah,
Go back
You mean
to
on the
that
photo?
photograph.
right there,
Right there.
yeah, yeah.
And this is going to be on a corner lot. Is it going to affect visibility?
No,
Facing second.
No, this is.
That's
this
Second
is
Street.
interior
Second
lot.
Street.
So this is a lot that's gonna be developed, the one that.
Here's a better view
Of how it's gonna be.
of how the parking spaces are right here.
Right.
so,
But on these things, on these photographs, they've got cars that are between the sidewalk and the front of the building. It appears to me that the proposed construction is going to be similar, identical to the existing construction, right?
Yes, I think
Yeah.
so.
I think so.
So on this new construction, it's going to be on a
You're
corner
right.
lot.
It's in.
No, the corner lot is what's already existing.
Yeah,
The corner lot is where it's already existing?
Yes, sir.
yes.
Okay, so this is what we're talking about?
Right, this
Okay.
is already existing, and then this is what the construction is
Okay.
proposed.
All right, I was looking at it the other way around.
Oh.
All right.
So, we did send out 22 notices to the abutting property owners, and we received one as undeliverable. So our recommendation is for zoning board to grant the request for 983 Colorado Street with the following conditions, that they comply with Chapter 8 governing buildings, Chapter 12 governing electrical code, Chapter 13 governing fire code, Chapter 14 governing rubbish, Chapter 21 governing plumbing, Chapter 22 governing streets, sidewalks, and other public places, Chapter 23 governing landscape and tree preservation, which is landscaping, Chapter 27 governing water and sewer, including drainage, and Appendix A governing zoning, off-street parking, as you mentioned, so we have to comply with that. Appendix A governing zoning, including fences. If there's any residential, I believe there's a residence right next door, so we have to fence, just to have that buffer between residential and multi. So that concludes the report for us. Now we'll open it up for questions.
It,
We do have the applicant in the audience in case there's any questions for the applicant as well.
esta tampoco quiere. Esta tampoco quiso.
Do you need an agenda?
Yes, please, if you have a packet. Thank you.
Doesn't want to. Never mind, you stole.
Does anybody have questions for Mr. Fuentes?
No?
Does
Are they-
Mr.
it's-
Fuentes, would he like to address the board with
Um,
anything?
No, there's no questions from the board. Okay.
See, are the apartments gonna be looking like these that we have here in front of us?
They're gonna be similar.
Okay.
I still don't know what the
Okay.
outside is gonna look like, but they're gonna be very similar
Okay.
in nature as far as floor plan and size, and I just don't know what the facade of it yet.
Okay. 60 feet apart from each other. Okay,
All right, thank you.
thank you. Thank you,
Thank you,
Mr.
Mr.
Fuentes.
Fuentes. Closed public hearing, 5:40. Anybody have a motion?
What do we say?
Motion B.
That we granted, right?
Yeah.
I motion that we grant Mr. Fuentes' I am trying to,
Okay, all right, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, all right, all those opposed? All right, motion carries unanimous. All right, number 3, public hearing on a variance request submitted by Diana Aguirre to 1, reduce the front yard building setback area from 25 feet to 20 feet. Number 2, reduce the side yard building setback area from 10 feet to 0 feet. And number 3, reduce the rear yard building setback area from 16 feet to 5 feet to allow the construction of carports in the property located at 203 Medina Street. Closing the public hearing and possible action.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So here you have another, one second. So before I go into the details, just as an FYI, the front setback is really off of Medina. And the side yard is off of Rio Grande. Just as an FYI. So you have for you an application submitted by property owner Diana Aguirre. Legal description being lot 12 in block 10 of Hillcrest Edition. Parcel size 8,550 square feet. Current use is multifamily development. Current zoning is R3 apartment district. And the request again is to, she's seeking variances from City of Local Code of Ordinances Appendix A zoning ordinance section 7.1C, 1, 2, and 3 regulating yard setbacks. One of the variances is to reduce the front setback from 25 feet to 20 feet. Number 2, to reduce the side yard building setback area from 10 feet to 0 feet. And 3 being to reduce the rear yard building setback area from 16 feet to 5 feet to allow the construction of carports on property located at 203 Medina.
Mr. Chairman, just for the record, I'm not sure, did you state a time of when we open the public hearing on this one? Not sure.
On this one here, on this one right now that we're on?
If not, would you mind doing this?
Oh, yeah, time is, I believe it was 5:40 when I closed the previous one. And
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
this one is be 5:40 as well.
yes, 540.
Sorry about that.
Thank you.
And the property is bordered by single-family dwellings and multifamily developments. Access to the site is provided by Rio Grande. Here you have some site photos of the property. Again, this here is Medina, and this is Rio Grande.
Maribel, so they're right there, they're wanting to build the carport to the right of the structure, is that correct?
Here, in front of the.
Oh, in front?
construction. Yes.
So they have to remove the fence that's currently there
Yes.
to put it, or, because if the fence is already an existing structure, why do we have to get a variance if there's already a structure there?
I'll go through the presentation and then we can ask the applicant, because we're not sure if that's that's what they're proposing to do. So you have here additional photos of the site, and this here is what they're proposing. We don't know if that's the actual material that they'll be utilizing, but that's what they presented to us. Here you have a rough draft of a preliminary plot plan. And this here is the original plot plan when the construction of the actual apartments and they were built. Just so you have an idea.
That's what's currently, or that was,
That was what's approved when the apartments were constructed years ago.
but that's not what they have.
Oh, no,
No,
no, no. This here, the applicant provided these photos of the property with carports within the city. Not in the immediate area, but they're throughout the city.
Are those other properties, do they meet the requirements for setback stuff, or
The
are they comparable?
The only one that I can think of that is, went through the process before the zoning board is this one here, which is on Ceylon Street.
And just the edge of that parking.
Yeah. But these other, I'm pretty sure they're just, they will not conform, they've been for generations. This one I'm not sure, but these two for sure, they've been there for.
No,
Or, I'm sorry, this one I'm not sure. This one and this one, yeah, they've been there for.
there's also a fire hydrant right in front of the underground. In front of the parking, right there. Is that where they want to build also the carport?
It's,
No, it's a fire
yeah,
hydrant.
somewhere in there.
And those properties, are they in the same neighborhood?
No, they're throughout the city.
So you don't even know exactly where they're going to construct carports? I guess because I'm kind of confused, they didn't tell you all exactly where?
The sketch doesn't show much.
Let me go back to one of those photos. So
Because I thought we changed the application to where they have to give us specific information so that the city can make a good recommendation and then we can make an informed decision.
So they would build those carports right here, where the existing parking lot is. You can't really see it from these photos, but here, this is a better one. It would be right here in front of those, where those cars are parked. That's
That's
And
right
the Rio
on
Grande would
street.
be the 0 setback.
And the fire hydrant.
No, it would be this. Yes, I'm sorry. You're correct. Rio Grande.
Yeah, that's
Well, that's
Rio
against the
Right on
sidewalk,
the
I
edge.
guess.
Yeah, that's
Right to the side.
Right on the street.
And so our concern is that one, like, it's most of it is just the visibility. If you have those structures, it's going
It's
to
right on
create
the
that visibility.
Where they can't see the cars and traffic, right?
Yeah.
It's right on the corner.
So it's a safety concern.
Yes.
They're parking there now,
Yes.
but they just want to put the structure up.
Their visibility issue, I mean, it would be the same visibility issue that they have now with parking there versus an actual structure blocking.
If you add additional structures, then yes.
But it's going to be poles, so it shouldn't be that much blocking. My concern is if they have a fence up, there's already a structure there.
Yeah. And I guess we can, the applicant is here, so if you
Yeah,
have
we'll
questions
open up
towards that,
for-
we can ask them.
Okay, what's the city's recommendation?
Our recommendation, you want to ask them?
Did not decline.
Yeah, just it's a good point you're making on fences, but they're very different. Front yard fence can be built in various, under circumstances, they can be allowed, but a front yard fence doesn't allow other carports or other things, so, while it is a structure, I see what you're saying technically, but there being a fence does not, it's very different categories of putting a roofed vertical structure versus a fence. And this one also, fortunately, when we do fence in the front yards, we try to do it in design that allow visibility, so if you see the bars allow visibility, and then the other one, there's some spacing between the columns. If we go back to the other image, so they are doing a very good job with what is there to try to maintain visibility, and corner lots, that's critical. So I do agree, it's a good point you're making that the structures are not a very large additional, the post will not increase too much that visibility, but again, we try our best to protect. That's what the setbacks are really a lot of the time for,
You don't know.
that type of thing. And you did just also point out, you talked about fire marshal.
Oh, yes.
Comment.
Yes, just for the record, we did talk to the fire marshal, and he, one of the things is that the reason for those setbacks, in case of an emergency, they want to have
Access for the
access to
Especially since the fire hydrant's right there.
Yes, but it looks like it.
And so why is the city's position not to approve the variance? So that I can understand it.
visibility.
Okay, a second.
The second one
Fire
require safety concern.
Is there any other reasons?
So those are the primary, is fire code, that's a big reason for most of them. Any of these, we're going to be reaching out to fire marshal for his opinion on setback reduction. On this one, being that their proposed design of what they wanted to do is a metal structure, didn't have concern so much with the material going to be used. So he didn't have opposition for this. It's primarily just this following standards on a typical lot. This is a regular shape, 50 by 150-ish. The variances typically don't apply in a regular situation, whether it's an irregular shaped lot or an unusual circumstance where the rules can't be applied feasibly. That's when the variances, that's what they're for. But so we typically try to shy away from approval of variances in these standard situations.
Did the city talk to the applicants about maybe finding an alternative so that they can be in compliance, so that it's not, their carport's not where the fire hydrant is, or is there any other place where they can put their carport?
We did sit with them for a good while and looked at it kind of every which way we could think of, but it's a developed lot, the buildings are there, the parking is there, so it's essentially putting the carport where to cover where the vehicles are, so there really was no other, we couldn't think of any other options. I know we sat with them and we talked, pretty good length, and ultimately they were given the option, if they really wanted to still try to do this, the way to do it would be through applying for variance, and so that's why we're here today.
There's no, on the, what you guys turned into us, it doesn't show anything about the fire marshal talking about it?
We didn't include that in the report, I apologize, but we did contact him, spoke to him about it, and to get his sentiments about the application. We'll make sure to include those in future applications, you can see and really what his opinion was.
And
Okay.
maybe not in the application, but we'll forward those
Comments
emails,
later. Okay.
Comments.
How about the vicinity there, the neighbors?
We did send out 23 notices, and we received one as undeliverable.
Nobody came back?
Again?
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Let's, is Ms. Aguirre here? Yes. Okay, let's open this up for public hearing at 5:53.
Do I read out my recommendation first and then? they
Yes.
can-
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you were done.
Okay, so.
Sorry.
So the planning department recommends that the application gets denied
Yeah.
as it does not conform with the section 7.1 C12 and through regulating yard setback areas of Eagle Pass Code of Ordinances, Appendix 8, zoning ordinance regulating front yard setbacks. And that's a recommendation.
Ms. Aguirre, we'll open it up at public hearing 5:54 if you want to approach so we can ask you some questions.
Si gusta pasar a,
Oh.
tienen preguntas para usted.
They could just come up to the front, state your name, and then you can provide comments.
My name is Andres Aguirre, I'm Yana's husband. The thing that we're trying to do is just,
Sir, you can approach the podium so we can hear you. Sorry, thank you.
the thing that we're trying to do is just put a carport where, show us the draft copy of the, only the, right from the other one.
This
right
one?
there. You see where those little cars are printed in front of the apartments?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there's 2 lots for each apartment, 2 car parking lots for each apartment. And they're kind of wide, they're about 18 feet wide. And the sidewalk is about 8 feet, 9 feet, right there on the first one, close to the opposite street, Medina Street. The sidewalk is 8 feet, and on the bottom of the apartment, the sidewalk is about 12 feet. We're trying to buy some of that property from the city so we can extend that, but they said we couldn't buy it, So we stayed like that. So there's space, more than enough for a sidewalk. That's just been thrown away. We could have used it, if we would have bought that. But anyways, the carport's going to be only the roof, and it's way off from the corner. So there's no blocking the vision of any driver or anything like that. Because it'll be level lights, almost level lights without roof of the apartment. And that's the only thing that will be on site, the roof.
Will
So-
you have to tear down
No,
the
there's no
yellow,
Sir?
would you have to tear down these yellow
No, sir,
piers?
the fence, it will be set up, the two poles will be, one of them will be set up on the side of one of those yellow poles, and the other one will here towards the apartment, and they'll be like at an angle so that it can get enough, be strong enough to consume the weight of the,
I guess I'm confused here because in your application, you're seeking to reduce the front yard building setback from 25 to 20 feet, reduce the side yard building setback from 10 to 0 feet, and reduce the rear yard building setback from 16 to 5 feet.
yeah, because those are the rules.
No, I understand, but I guess I'm confused as to exactly where the structure or how the structure would be placed because I can't see it.
At the
And in
end?
order for it to get that, wouldn't you have?
Can I have
to
permission
park
to
fence?
walk up and point out?
Sure? Yes, sir. I'll see you tomorrow.
There's not enough.
See here, there's a sidewalk. From here to there is about 25 feet. And the carport will be a little bit over here where we have those things so that you can stop the car, those bump things. Okay, we have it about the end of the little sidewalk right there, over here.
So
That
your,
would be the only difference.
so your carport would be right there, like the.
Yes.
Okay, can you put that?
It would be
picture
on Rio
back?
Grande Street.
Okay. right
Mr.
here.
Madera, can you scroll it up?
See right here?
You want the other one? It's a
Yeah,
lot
so I
easier to
can-
point
yeah.
out where it is in relation to everything here, but we can look at the.
Yes,
the
because I
street
get a
view.
better idea with the actual, okay, so the carport,
Zoom in.
the setback would be,
It will be only this.
But it would be.
This one. Right here,
uh-huh,
At the top, the plus sign up at the top.
it'll be about right here, going up, and we're going that way. And this one going up here, and coming up that way.
okay.
It's a simple, just this two on the back and the roof on top.
I see, it would be right there where you're pointing out, right, where the
Yeah,
fire
about right
hydrant
here,
is?
about right here.
How far would,
Inside.
how far would it be from the fire hydrant?
It's right there.
About, show me the other draft,
It's
show me
done.
the
It's
other
right on top of it.
down here.
Sorry.
There you go.
Well,
Be careful.
It will be about right here. This will be one pole, it will be another pole right here. And on the fire hydrant, which is about right here.
That's right.
I don't know, there's a limit to where the poles are gonna be, because we got the fence, we have poles.
Yeah.
I mean, what affects the fire hydrant?
Cars coming in. The fire.
In the corners, that's landscaping, so there's no way que la gente que vaya a molestar el techo. Porque en las esquinas es landscaping. Both sides has landscaping, because the city told us to put landscaping. So our carpoles are just gonna be from here, going this way. So there's no way que, y el fire thing is como está por aquí. It was in the corner, but they put it a little bit more over here. They move it. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Some additional
Trying to
detail
say-
may help, because it is a bit confusing. The legal lot is a Medina Street, so this is the front facing Medina.
Medina, yes.
Even though I guess you would think that it's facing Rio Grande. because
Yes.
that's where the
No,
structure-
it's not.
So when we're saying a front yard setback reduction, we're talking about this facing Medina, so that's going from 25 to 20 here, this gap between the Medina side, and then the side is reducing down this side. And the rear would be this, that's in the interior of the lot,
Their stop sign.
reducing it, so they're they're wanting to put,
Yes.
the carport for these other parking stalls as well. So that's where the front, side, and rear.
And we're doing all this because the sun is real bad here in Texas, so.
Right, but are you separating any hardships, any economic loss for the variance request that you're requesting?
Excuse me?
Are you separating any economic hardship or any other type of hardship?
No, but just, we wanted to put them because the heat, we can start at the heat.
No.
Is there a four-way stop there or two-way?
No, the stop's going up towards Medina.
Two-way, right? It's not a four-way? Rio Grande, Medina has a
Medina
right of way.
doesn't have
Rio
Medina
Grande has a
has
stop
a
sign.
stop
right?
signs,
No,
yes,
just Rio
Medina's
Grande.
free.
Yeah, just Rio Grande. It's right here.
And the setback on the Rio Grande is to what, Mr. Madera? I'm sorry, I missed that last part. Reduced to what?
That one's 0, so it's coming out to their property line, which is still a pretty wide right-of-way area. As you mentioned, there's sidewalk and landscape as far as the right-of-way here.
Do you know what, do we know that distance?
No.
Because we're not really going to,
Marking 8 feet 6 is what they're showing between the sidewalk, which all of this is.
Sidewalk and
From the
landscaping.
sidewalk to their property line, 8.5 feet.
okay.
On this side, and on that side, it's 11 and 3 inches.
Okay.
Where is the existing setback line? Is it like just next to the
side.
dividing line between the parking lots?
On the side or which one?
Yes, on Rio Grande, on the existing side setback, where is the?
So for a corner lot, it's a 10-foot side setback, so you could,
There,
there's a
okay.
dash line here, that marks the 10.
But they were allowed to use it for parking, right?
Yeah, technically, because they're not building a structure, it's flat pavement, but
So there's,
it does put a vehicle in that area, which
Is there an easement that runs through there?
no.
easement, not within in the property.
No. There's no overhead power lines or anything there?
Yeah, these, here, they're here.
That's what I'm
How
saying.
many apartments are there?
Because I thought you couldn't,
4?
I thought you couldn't get nowhere near those lines.
And you just wanna,
Each apartment has his 2 parking spaces.
Well, AEP has the right to take them away, take your power away if you're instructing their lines.
4 apartments?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. I just showed them the picture right there. There's a corner pole right there.
Yeah, but
Might be,
you won't
it might
go
be.
that high though.
Well, I understand that, but even if you get close to it, you're supposed to respect, I think, 25 feet, any type of structure near them. I'm not sure that's between AEP, I mean, I don't know if that's in this thing or not, Mr.
We
Blunt.
haven't gotten an AEP approval on that. I guess if, depending on the outcome of this, if there's a.
When will that AEP approval be, or what was the estimated time for the AEP approval?
We don't have one.
He doesn't
but
have
if you're
one.
saying- if
We
I'm
need
saying
one.
if the group entertains the idea of approving, we can make it with a condition that AEP must approve before we will
The
release.
concerns that I have is a fire hydrant. It's
I-
a serious concern for me because it's a public health,
Well,
well, safety issue.
I'm more concerned about the electrical above it. If the line goes down, or AEP has to repair that line and that thing's in the way, or they're gonna have a hard time getting to it, that's gonna be, I'm more concerned, that's more probable than a fire. Because lines do go down more often than fires do, than fires
With the
do.
wind.
I mean, but it's a concern.
Yeah, the
May I
fire.
say something?
Yeah.
Most of the wiring are to top of houses
Because they're old houses.
and carports in
And I understand that, but I mean, it's just the new code, and we have to, unfortunately, we have to respect the new code.
Okay, from 25 feet from what?
I think from the
pole,
pole,
bottom of the pole?
from the
or
top of the pole.
Oh, it's more than 25 feet.
How tall is your, how tall is, or
I
you,
mean, this is 25 feet.
but how tall is your carport?
Right here.
How tall?
What is it,
Do you know the
8
feet?
7?
8 feet.
8 feet.
8 feet?
Yeah, because then you have to go over 9.
So we can.
It's fine.
You can see it right there, it's over there.
Run it right next to it.
So they're gonna be building, I think we have to.
No, we're
Show
showing there, it's
approval,
just a concept, it's not.
This
That's
water
not the
that-
actual
that
construction.
overlaps, it overlaps through my property or to the sidewalk? Yeah.
Pretty sure that's from the street people.
Something close to like that. They told me no, you can't do that. So.
Okay. Any other questions?
So in those carports, it's one car for two cars?
2 cars.
Okay, so that is for your 4 apartments, okay. I see, okay.
And so you'd be
Just
putting
couldn't
4
see it.
carports in.
Yeah, I couldn't see it, here, and I tried to see it, oh, yeah, okay.
They're not working, Ms. Chia.
No, it's not.
Yeah. Here, you want-
I just got this thing.
Need some color photos?
Yeah.
All right, does
There's maybe,
anyone, all right, any other do y'all have anything? Is there anything else you would like to say?
And the reason we have in the corner of that fence, years back, a car came from the Medina and went straight to the old house that used to be there. That's why we decided just to put out the way those yellow poles.
with safety, yeah.
That's it.
I think we're ready for a vote.
All right, well, let's close public hearing at 6:07. Anyone want to make a motion?
I motion to approve as long as AEP gives approval.
Okay, all those in
If
favor?
that- If I may, we want
We'll have to table it.
Do we have to table it? Do we have to table
We
that?
have to table it, yeah.
No, that's fine. Just for the record, if you're recommending or you're approving the petition, it's just fire marshal's request that the material be non-combustible.
Oh, yeah. It's got to be metal, not wood.
But then again, we try to,
So in talking to Fire Marshal, we discussed it in the event that the board chose to approve, we did discuss, and he asked that it be with the condition
That it be
the
metal.
material be
I-
approved by him and be non-combustible.
I think maybe we should table it and let the fire marshal come to explain more to us. Yeah, but I think we should do that.
Well,
Yeah.
what if we were to table it and have AAP as well? Because
Yes.
AAP will take about 15 days to approve.
Yeah, let's get AAP and the fire marshal here, because I think
Well,
that,
AAP won't come.
So-
They would have to, they would have to send something in, they send an email back.
It
or
doesn't-
something like
whatever,
that.
but I think it's important because of the safety concerns, and I think we should have the fire marshal here as well, so they
Okay,
can explain.
I remove my motion to approve and I
Yes.
move to table with the fire
Yes.
marshal and AAP approval.
I would request that, I would amend your motion to request that the fire marshal come when we bring this in after getting the AEP, so that we can ask him questions, he can give us the information
Is
we need.
fire marshal, can they come to these?
yes.
Yes.
We've never had one. Okay. All
Do you
right.
accept? All right, all those in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Those opposed? All right, motion carries. All right, next one is number 4, public hearing on a variance request submitted by Roberto Zarate to reduce the front yard building setback area from 25 feet to 11 feet to allow for the construction of an attached carport in property located at 2208 Beverly Hills Boulevard.
Oh, my goodness.
Just time.
607 was the last one.
And y'all forgive me, but for number 3, we're going to table that. The time was 6:07.
607, yeah.
All right, Maribel, number 4.
What you have before you is another variance submitted by Roberto and Sonia Zarate. Legal description being Lot 3 in Block 1 of Treasure Hills, Unit 1, parcel size 5,750 square feet. Current use is a residential dwelling. Current zoning is R2, second one-family dwelling district. The request again is the applicant seeks a variance from Section 6C1 regulating yard regulations for R2 zoning district to reduce the front yard building setback area from 25 feet to 11 feet. The property is bordered by single-family dwellings. Access to the site is provided by Beverly Hills Boulevard. It's just to give you some history, the applicant did apply for a driveway permit, but they went ahead and constructed the carport without proper permitting.
Was a work
They
stop
were
order
given-
issued?
Yes, our building inspector issued a stop work order, and they decided to come before. the-
They went ahead and,
When was this done?
When was the work stop order sent out, and when was the work completed?
Yes.
So I have some. info here.
Stop order.
On the, August the 16th of 2020, well, that's just the history. Let me go back to May the 8th of 2023.
May 8th, 23, stop order?
Uh,
Right here. Right here's the history.
So that's when they applied for their driveway permit. On,
May
the
8th.
8th.
They applied
And they
for it.
received approval on the following day for the driveway.
Did they not have an
What-
existing
what-
driveway, or did they amplify their driveway, or what was?
Wait, I'm confused. When did they applied for
Driveway.
the driveway and you all approved it?
The driveway, yes.
Okay, so what was the work stop permit done for?
The carport.
Okay, when was that issued?
The
work
stop work order was issued on July 19th of 2023.
So after they got the driveway, they went ahead to build the driveway and a carport without getting permission from you all.
That's correct.
And then you had to issue the stop work order in July of 2023.
That's correct.
Yes.
And so is the structure existing already and they're applying for the variance already?
Yes,
completed
they are.
already.
It's existing. So here's go back to,
So then they're asking us to approve bad behavior.
Really? Yes. Don't think so.
Because all the other people come in and request a variance before doing this, and then they've already done it, and now they,
that's correct. So here you have a survey of the property and the site plan that they submitted after being notified or given the stop work order.
Was there a fine confined to that after the stop order?
No, ma'am.
No fine?
No fine.
so did they even bother to ask you when they, like, for the carport, did they submit plans, or did they submit anything, or it was just the driveway?
No, it was just a driveway originally.
They could have told you all about the carport and they didn't.
Yes, that's correct.
How much of the carport was done when you issued the stop order?
After it was
Go back
finished.
to the photos.
Well, that's completed right there, so that's,
It was almost completed.
It was almost completed.
Were they aware of the process that they needed to apply to get the permit for the carport?
They were told, or they applied for the driveway, so I'm assuming, I assume they knew about.
And was it constructed by a contractor, or was it a DIY?
According to the applicant, it was a contractor.
Oh, what contractor did that? Because contractors know better.
I wouldn't ask.
I mean, as a daughter of a contractor, I know better.
Yes.
What was, what did they do to the driveway, do you know?
To the driveway.
When they asked for
I
that?
they
want to
requested
say,
the variance.
it's not
I
on
want
here.
to say that they extended it, I'm not sure. But we do have the applicant in the audience.
So what is the city recommending?
Our
Denial.
recommendation is to deny.
Because we don't want to commend bad behavior, right? Because then everyone's going to build whatever they want, and then they're going to come ask us for a variance, because then they're going to know we're going to grant it, right?
That's correct.
Yes.
And how is it fair to everyone else or all of our other property owners that they have to
We
come
have
and do things the
denied.
correct way and subject to denial, but these people already did it, and now they want to clean their hands of it to get the variance, right? When they hired a contractor who should have known better to get the permits, right?
That is correct.
No.
Is that right?
We did send out 34 notices to the abutting property owners, and we received 7 notices in favor, and 1 is undeliverable.
In favor of allowing the,
Seven notices. in
The
favor.
driveway or The driveway.
the carport.
The carport for this variance.
How about the fire marshal?
We did talk to the fire marshal just before the meeting, and he doesn't have any comments in relation to this.
No comments?
Well, and actually, yes, it was a 25, the reason for the 25-foot setback, right? That's what he mentioned.
You guys are requesting from
Because of the-
25 feet to 11.
Yeah, you have to have said something.
And in case, again, in case of an emergency, he wants to have clearance to go into the property.
I just take serious issue with people just completely disregarding ordinances, and I don't think we should reward bad behavior. I know it's gonna be a cost, but they should have done things the right way, and it's not fair to all the other property owners. I own several properties, and so I have to come in, if I need a variance, we know better.
Agree.
And then, well, that
Go
concludes the
ahead.
report, unless you have any other questions for me or the
I
applicant
don't
who's in
have
the
any.
audience. I'm not sure the applicant would like.
I do
to-
have a question. I have a question.
¿El dueño de la propiedad? No, bueno, yes, okay. That's it.
Good afternoon. I'm the owner of this house, and the reason, I just want to tell you the reason I made this carport. It's not because I want to look better my house than the other ones. It's because they affect my economy every year, the health damage. I just repaired my truck 2023. I sent all the paperwork, and my insurance, they're going like crazy every year. I have 4 years back happened the same because I don't have a carport. That's the reason I made this. It's not because I want to look better, because they don't look better in my house, but I need it. This is my house, and I need to protect my property.
Is the carport completed?
I'm sorry?
Is the carport completed?
No, no, because they stopped to do.
Who was your contractor that you
I
hired?
don't have any contract. I just I found a people, they can do it for me.
Okay, so who did you hire to do it for you?
It's a carpenter, and actually, I don't remember now the name.
That was,
Yeah, it's not something fancy or something they need a contractor for doing something like that. It's a open carport.
that was one of the questions that I was going to ask you, is if the contractor would have known, should have told you, but you're saying you didn't hire a contractor, just anybody off the street. But I'm assuming that if that's what they're doing, part-time or full-time, I don't know, they should have some knowledge that that's not right for them to do that, to let you know. Now, why wasn't he ever fined?
When we, when.
Because you find other people,
I'm sorry.
you have fined other people.
We typically work with the people, we don't
It's
cite them.
a carpenter, the regular carpenter you can find anywhere. It's not like a company, they doing a build or something.
Well,
Well, he looks like
I
he's doing a
just-
very good job.
Well,
He looks like
that's,
he's skilled and knows.
I'm glad I have this guy, that I found this guy. But I say it's nothing because I like the way they gonna look my house. It's because I want to protect my property. I want to protect my economy because every year, and you can see the claim I have there, and I still don't claim the other car, the damage. I have a Mini Cooper and it's still damaged. Because I don't want to hit anymore my insurance because they're gonna go up. And everybody here, do you put a claim to your insurance, they're gonna go high. They say, hey, it's not gonna go up with your price.
so you're protecting your car from the sun or the hail, or?
Yeah, actually, I sent it,
Yes, I
the
forwarded
copy and everything.
the photos of the.
I just passed it this-
And the claim.
3 or 4 months ago, and probably I can get the other ones from the other 3 or 4 years back. Because every year they happen the same.
No, ma'am, no. Okay.
Now, Mr. Zarate, your vehicles don't fit in the garage? That's why you had to
No,
put the
sir,
carport?
it's a truck, I have a small house, I don't have a big house. This is a regular house, the garage is very small.
But when you came and got the permit, it was only for the driveway.
Yeah, they didn't know about that. I was thinking I can do something like that. That's the reason I do it. I was thinking when I get the permission for this, I just rebuilt my driveway because it's all damaged, it's all cracked, and I just remove the old one and put a new one. That's what I do.
And they didn't mention that you, if you wanted to build a carport,
No.
that you couldn't do it when you
No,
met with them?
I don't ask him, sir.
I think we find ourselves in the same situation as we did with the property a few months back, remember? And I think we have to treat every applicant equally. Because it's not fair to the other applicant who had already built stuff, remember? And we were in the same position.
On El Indio, right?
And we have to be fair.
And you go around my neighbor, you're gonna see another carport like mine.
So the only difference now
No,
is
it's
that
exactly,
whoever,
if you're going 2 streets behind mine,
I understand.
you're gonna see
I
exactly
understand.
one like me.
I understand. The difference is that whoever approved it then is not the same board it is now, and we're trying to follow the rules. And we have the city has explicit rules as to permits. And if you went to ask for a permit to extend your driveway, I'm assuming that you have enough common sense to know that for everything you have to ask for a permit.
Well,
You know, it's very unfortunate, you know.
yeah, I accept that point, and I agree with you with that, but
You know, and
Yeah.
if it was just for me, if it was just a regular contractor, some guy you just found somewhere to build, who does a really good job, you've got really good site plans, as far as, you know, what you wanted to do, how you wanted to do it.
yeah, well,
Um,
that's my situation, and like I say, I asked him for a loan to do this.
yeah. I
Yeah,
understand.
and it's money, it is something I don't have that money to expend, but I think if I invest in that, I'm gonna save money every year, because if I don't have my carport.
I understand. I had the same thing
Next
done.
year, it's gonna happen again.
I had the same thing done, I extended my house.
you understand me.
But I requested a permit even when the contractor was gonna do it. I made sure that the permits were done, because I too got a loan, and I don't wanna spend my money, throw my money away if I'm gonna get reprimanded for it, right, or denied.
Well, the reason I do it is because I see another ones on my neighbor, exactly like mine, say, well, nothing happens.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Well,
I don't know
maybe
if they get
for
permits or not, but.
Yeah, that's
they
very
have-
unfortunate. We weren't on that board before.
As well.
I move to do a vote, to move to close. So that we can vote.
All right, do you have anything to add, Mr.
Yeah,
Sarah? Anything else?
I hope they get approved, because it's gonna damage my economy every year, so if you don't do it.
Sorry. Doesn't hail that much here anyway.
I move to, I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman, go ahead.
Close it.
No, no,
Close the hearing.
oh, close it.
Close it.
Okay, I'm sorry. We closed public hearing at 6:24.
I move to deny the application.
One second.
Okay. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right. Any opposed? All right, motion carries unanimously.
I'm sorry, for the record, what time was this one?
6:24.
6:24?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right, number 5,
No,
public.
I'm sorry. When it was open, not closed.
I think it was
6:07.
6:07. Yeah. All right, number 5, public hearing on a variance request submitted by Jose L. and Monica R. Cermeño to reduce the side yard building setback area from 5 feet to 2 feet to allow for the construction of an attached carport on property located at 887 North Bibb Avenue, closing,
Okay, está
public hearing
también.
6:25.
6:25, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So this item is another setback, request to reduce setback. The applicant here, as you read, is Jose L. and Monica R. Zermenio. It's a 7,625 square foot residential dwelling zoned R1, first one family. This is a residential area, fully developed, all utilities and infrastructure is developed here. This is off of Bibb Avenue. Some site photos. On the left is a plot plan. I think this one, and I'll try to zoom here to be able to point out what's existing and what is proposed. So in gray, they're showing existing home, existing porch, and then this rectangular piece is they're looking to do an addition towards the side property. And they're, should label it here as a two-car carport, which would be in line, not side by side.
On that, on Brittany Street?
Elevation views of what they're seeking to do, and then you can also see on the right where their existing driveway is, and then the proposed new roof pitches would extend off of the existing home and go towards the site property line, which you could see pretty much goes up to the property line. And so the detail, again, the specific numbers here is the typical 5-foot minimum side setback. They're requesting to reduce that to 2 feet side setback for this attached carport.
They're renovating the home?
Just an addition that they're an add-on for this carport specifically. I don't know, there was no additional construction that we're aware of.
Mr. Madera, quick question. It's reducing from one side, from 5 to 2, but we're getting closer to the street, and it's not specifying the setback on the street on this.
Yeah.
And Bibb is probably the most populated or heavy trafficked area.
Is it speed 77, you said? So it's closer to the high school, no?
Yes.
To that four-way stop.
It's very close to the Brittany Avenue, which takes you to that subdivision back there.
Yeah,
But
So it's right here.
it's right there on that
So
corner.
it's coming out a little bit
So
more.
they do have that pointed out in the plot plan, and it does show the 25 feet, still even.
Oh, right here.
I don't see any of it. I can't see them.
Oh,
Pretty
it's just
small numbers
25
there,
feet,
but-
so it's like, it looks okay.
It's not getting closer to the street
Very
Slightly,
little
but
bit,
it's
very
still-
little bit.
within the 25-foot setback.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
It is coming forward, but I guess they were a few feet behind with the original home, so it's still, so they're not applying for a front setback.
No.
Oh, because they have the 30-foot setback, because it's the traditional houses?
I think that's what they have.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So, I'll just show you one more view. So they do have a lot of trees, but you could see the neighboring property here, so this will extend closer to the neighboring property. A big part of side setbacks is fire safety, and the reason for there being 5 and 5 on each home is to have a total of 10 feet, which is a standard for fire safety in case one building were to unfortunately catch on fire. That's the standard to try to prevent it from being able to
Jump across.
jump to the other
But this
property.
is off of the street, right? Where they're doing is by the street side?
It's on the
No.
side.
It's on the
On
side.
the side of the
On
house, the
Brittany.
houses are right here, and they're just, one is getting closer to that.
And then there's trees in the way already, right?
So they're coming this way. This will be the view, so they're moving further to the side.
And so the trees aren't blocking, I mean, the trees are already blocking the site already. It really doesn't matter if the,
I don't think so.
front yard
That
trees.
Doesn't matter. They can drive right straight back to
It would be behind these trees here.
right, but the visual, the site, what you're saying about being able to see, the trees are already
Oh.
big. Already-
To be able to see what?
You said that the issue is the site, being able to see.
No,
right?
fire.
No, the side.
Fire.
Fire jumping.
Oh,
Yeah, so the 10 feet separation, and that's why each property is responsible for 5 feet of setback, is to have a total of 10 feet. And
so
that's,
there's a house on the left side?
Yes.
yes.
First Street.
Is there any other houses in that general area with with it being within 2 feet? That
We
know
didn't
of?
look, I didn't
Okay.
find any of that. No, we're not aware of any.
What's the reason why the city, like, what's the big reason why the city wants to deny the variance?
Because of the fire.
Side setbacks are specifically a fire That's the primary
But they're
issue.
still gonna have 2 feet, no? They're asking from 5 to 2, so they're only asking for a 3-foot
That's right.
variance.
So it would be essentially, instead of the 10 feet separation we look for, it would be
A 7.
7.
Yeah.
And I think we did talk to fire marshal about that again, because this is significant fire concern on side setbacks between 2 properties, and so he did state that if something were to be approved for reducing those, it would need to be fire, non-flammable, uncombustible material. This would be, he said it, to build into that side setback, absolute must, and so he said it can be done, but with non-combustible material.
What's it, the plan presented doesn't show that.
No.
No, so we would, if that would be the case, we would ask for a condition that the material be non-combustible and get fire marshal approval before we release permit, if that's the way you want to.
Are the owners here?
No.
I don't think no, I don't believe it here.
There's no need to table it either, except or decline depending on what the fire marshal says, or with new
Motion
motion.
to, yeah, approve or decline based, or approve based on
The
it being,
recommendations.
yeah, approved by the fire marshal and using combustible.
Were there any opposition by any adjacent?
Yeah, so thank you for reminding me that. So the last key details here, 26 notices were sent out. 1 was received in favor and 1 as undeliverable. Our recommendation in general, and in pretty much all these cases,
the
on
neighbor
standard
didn't
size lots, regular
no.
routine lots, we will recommend
The neighbor
denial
didn't say no.
for reducing of setbacks. That concludes the presentation. Any other questions?
Is it possible to allow somebody to build something but not make it permanent so that, future construction isn't allowed to build into that reduced area? Because, if you just change the setback, 20 years from now, 50 years from now, they decide to raise the building, now they can actually build a house into
I
that.
see what you're saying. So you're saying like if, for this one time, like a one-time.
They
for
could
this-
build it, assuming it satisfies the fire marshal and whatever, but it wouldn't change the setback.
We've done that before. We did that with Silverstone.
Yeah, something like that, because if my concern behind that is a cul-de-sac or a road, and I don't know, if the fire laddies can't get on off of Bibb Street, how are they gonna get in?
On Brittany.
Yeah. That's my concern, it's a real populated area and houses catch on fire and we have problems.
That's what he denied.
But nobody opposed it.
Section 5.
I was just discussing with Maribel, that's a good point you're bringing up. So when we approve these in the letter, the format that we send, it is specific to the request and doesn't allow for other future
Okay.
construction into the setback. So
Okay,
it's a
okay,
one-time
that's good.
for one,
Yeah,
Okay, all
so
right.
it's grandfathered in as long as no big,
for this one.
For
We can't say,
yeah.
well, let's enclose the whole thing and make it part of the interior of the home. That would be a separate
Okay,
request.
okay.
anyone want to make a motion?
I don't know, what was the, I didn't hear the last
Just
part.
For the, fire marshal approval and combustible
Yeah.
material.
I motion to approve if fire marshal approves with non-combustible.
Public hearing?
No.
Oh. What's wrong with me today? All right, closing public hearing, 6:35.
Ran your coup today. I'll replace you with the vice chair.
No. My mind wanders more, so don't worry about it. I motion to approve with a fire marshal approving and the construction of the materials to be non-combustible materials.
I second.
Yes. All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, motion carries unanimously. All right. All right. Next, public hearing is at 6:36. Public hearing on a variance request submitted by Cosme Rodriguez to reduce the maneuvering space from 24 feet to 19 feet to allow for the construction of carports on property located at 2668 Encino Park Drive.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The applicant, as he stated, Cosme Rodriguez, Carlos, property owner Carlos Rodriguez, parcel size is 10,725 square feet. It's a multifamily dwelling off of Encino Park Drive. This is off of North Veterans Boulevard. It is in a developed area with all public utilities and franchises available in the area. This area does have commercial uses in the vicinity, and then if you continue down Encino Drive, you get to the Villarona residential area.
Oh, it's next to the studio.
Well, yeah. I know where that is.
There, I know where it is. It's next to this dance studio. And my daughter goes to
Yeah.
dance.
That's exactly, yeah, so it's
Yeah.
right next to this studio edge.
Studio.
Yeah.
It's so highly,
Crowded in this area.
highly crowded.
Yeah. So this is a unique construction. It's a narrow lot for an apartment type. So it's fairly narrow, but it goes back deep. And their parking spaces they have parking spaces at the rear of the property. So along the side of the property, up at the top would be the Encino Park Drive, and that's how you enter the property. And you drive along the side of it, they do have the minimum 24-foot drive aisle to get to the rear area for the parking. And it's, I guess, a bit similar to some of the previous applicants, and they're wanting to cover the parking spaces back there. To construct, there is also the same 24 drive aisle that comes along the side to access the parking is also needed to maneuver and park to get into the parking. So part of what they want to do with this carport structure will reduce that maneuvering space, and so they're seeking a reduction in the 24 feet maneuvering space. That's the standard for two-way drive aisles. And that's from 24 to 19, what they're seeking to do. They've highlighted the areas here where they're trying to cover. There is an AEP overhead easement. The property goes towards Council Boulevard, towards the residential area. There is overhead easements, and so there is no construction allowed. You can see that in the drawing here with the X's. That's the easement area. So they're essentially starting basically where they can, where that easement ends, over the AEP easement.
It's like the one we approved there.
And so 9 notices were mailed out to the abutting property owners within a 200-foot radius. No letters were received in return. We did discuss with Fire Marshal on this one as well as with the others, and being in the rear, he didn't have any concern with blocking access for emergency personnel or anything of that nature, but also as in similar ones, he asked that it be non-combustible material. At this time, there's not developments on the rear, but in the event that developments do come back there, he wanted to also ensure that fire safety. So he was comfortable with an approval with non-combustible materials. And our department's recommendation, based off of those similar details, is to also grant the applicant's variance request for reducing that 24 feet drive aisle width, as it will still be, it's only to get into those parking spaces. It won't impact actual
Now,
traffic.
I have two questions. One is, we talked about the development in the back. There is no plans to be developed. Is this going to cause any more runoff since we don't have a detention pond on this multifamily?
That's a good question. So runoff is an important thing for us to look at, and the fact that these paved parking spaces, building the covered does not add additional runoff. The area is already fully impervious, so it wouldn't increase that impervious cover.
Now, okay, my second question is gonna be AEP transmission lines run right through there, don't they?
Along the side, not in, it covers part of, you can see it here a little better.
Those are high voltage lines, aren't they?
They are the tall, high voltage.
Now, what is the AEP requirement on high voltage being that close? Because I'm, on the plan that I'm looking at right here, I can see the lines drawn out right here.
So that is the line where nothing can be built aside from that. So that's where you can see the dash line, I think, on that version you're looking at.
Yes, sir.
And so that's why, even though there's not a parking space, the canopy cannot be,
The canopy won't get nowhere near that? It doesn't even matter the
Canopy
height or anything close to that at that point?
we did check with AEP for the full construction of those apartments that were done in recent years.
Mhm.
And so the key thing is that no vertical structures can be beyond that line.
Okay.
So that's what they're doing, is respecting that line, and they want to, they're proposing to start the canopy carport right after that line.
Anybody have any questions?
These are in the rear, right?
Yes, nothing to do with
Nothing.
view or access from the from the road or anything like that.
Okay. It's a matter of them getting out at the same time.
Yeah. Your average 18-wheeler is 18 feet, I mean 8.5 feet wide.
Uh-huh.
So you can technically fit two 18-wheelers going through there, so I don't think it'll be a problem.
And still have room, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
All right. Let's
Close.
close public hearing, 6:42.
Close.
Anyone want to make a motion?
My motion to approve
All right.
They
the
closed
fact,
it.
they already closed it. I motion to approve as long as the fire marshal follows the fire marshal codes of being a non-combustible material to build the carport.
Second.
All right, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? All right, motion carries unanimously. All right, meeting, oh, yeah, let's move to adjourn the meeting.
I think the vice chairman is doing a coup. Ousting you.
No, I don't want the chair position.
All right, meeting adjourned, 6:43.
A quick question, what's gonna happen to the people that their carport was declined?
We've had one case that I recall, and two cases, and they had to remove the structure.
Ooh.
Well, I mean, that's what happens when you don't follow the rules. It's not fair that everyone else, and we denied other people, they all have to follow the rules.
They
No,
can't.
you have to fill the district court. From us, because we're the governing body, then they have to follow the laws from the district court.
Thank you guys so much.
Priscilla.
You guys have a great day.
Priscilla, I need to say
Mr. Madera, you have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
With the group.